Hey guys, welcome back to the ResilientNurse.com. Thank you all for subscribing and emailing me your fabulous questions. Today I'm hanging out in my home in Los Angeles, California, my travel nurse home, and I'm rocking Cherokee scrubs. Their Infinity line, hot pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So let's get into it. I get a high volume of emails from you guys about numerous topics, but one topic that seems to be consistent from you all is about my experience as a travel nurse and how you become a travel nurse. So let's talk about that. How to become a travel nurse. I mean, you can look at numerous blogs, you can Google it, you can find out a bunch of different steps and ways to do it. I'm going to tell you my way and how I went about it. So I gained experience in med-surg tele first for 1 year. Then I got 2 solid, intense years of intensive care. I decided to get 2 solid years because I wanted to feel comfortable when traveling to different states and practicing. And I recommend that everyone have at least 1 year in their area of specialty before traveling. And I say this because you're going to be going into different environments, working with different people. Your support system will be a lot different. So you need to be very comfortable in your craft and in your skill set. I get questions about what agency I work for. Currently, I'm working with American Mobile Healthcare. I like the agency and I decided to stick with them. I initially chose them just because their paperwork was a little bit easier than others. And I know that they get some of the larger hospitals, and I prefer to work for larger teaching institutions. So far I have traveled to Las Vegas, Nevada, I have traveled to Northern California, and I am currently in Los Angeles, California. I would say that my experience has been pretty great and that the agency has been pretty great. So when you start traveling, you'll notice that you'll get to build a rapport with other travelers, and everybody will talk about their pay, their compensation, their housings, and compare. Me personally, if my package works for me, I don't feel the need to compare with others. I'm personally happy, but you guys can network and utilize each other for resources, and I'm always a resource for you guys if you need it. So as far as the agency goes and different agencies, there are hundreds out there, and I encourage you all to apply to 1 or 2 agencies and submit out for different contracts and compare the packages that you get, that they give you. Everything is negotiable, everything. So your pay is negotiable, your housing package is negotiable, and so let's break it down. So as far as housing goes, you can choose company provided housing or a stipend. A stipend is basically a set of untaxable money in most cases from most agencies that is on your paycheck that you can use for housing. So it's a bit more money, or you can take their company provided housing. I chose the company provided housing because I didn't want to deal with the hassle of looking for a place to live and furnishing it. Normally, from my agency personally, the housing has been a large 1-bedroom apartment in a pretty prime location. I'm in Hollywood, California right now. Before I was in downtown Los Angeles, which was very convenient. You can base it on your commute to work, say that you want to be in a 10-mile radius. Voice these things to your recruiter because everything is negotiable. So they do give you furniture, but it will be the bare minimum, which are the basics, which will be a couch, a love seat, a lamp, a bed, a dresser. Your TV, your kitchen appliances, those things are normally on you. But then again, everything is negotiable. It just depends on how much you want to negotiate. So me, I chose the company sponsored housing. And for me, it's been pretty great. It's been very safe and clean and comfortable. And I do love that. I do receive questions from women and men who are traveling with children. And yes, it's totally possible. I've met many travelers who have families, who aren't the single girl on an adventure like you guys think the typical travel nurse is. I meet many people who are traveling with children, and with childcare support and, you know, just a discussion with their recruiter, they're able to work that out where they travel with their families. So that's totally an option. A lot of people travel with a buddy and have a friend that they go on these different contracts with. So when choosing a length of a contract, me personally, I don't go for the very long contracts. I prefer to take a contract that is average length around 3 months. And I do this because I don't want to be stuck in a situation that is undesirable for too long. And I also don't want anything too short. So I have the mindset that 3 months is kind of the golden number for me personally, because I feel like I can do absolutely anything for 3 months. If it's a bad location, you know, I can deal with it for 3 months. So that's the length of stay that I normally choose. And right now I'm in a contract that was initially 3 months, but I loved it, so I extended for 6 months. And normally if the hospital is in need and, you know, you're doing a pretty good job, they will ask you to extend. And again, everything is negotiable, so you can ask for a pay increase or a bonus to stay. So also, you know, pay is important. So I normally choose contracts that have a guaranteed work week. The last thing that you want to do is to get to a location and have, you know, being called off work every day, and you're worried about how you're gonna pay, you know, your utilities or, you know, your car note or whatever you have going on. That's not something you want to do. You want to make sure that you have a guaranteed 36 hours a week and that you go over your overtime rate and you crunch all the numbers before agreeing to a contract. Calculate out how much you're making weekly and have your recruiter go over that with you so you know exactly what you're taking home every week. I would say the pay is pretty great. I personally doubled my income for coming from Georgia. The cost of living is much higher in California than it was in Georgia, but I mean, right now I am living in company housing, so it makes it a little bit easier for me. I don't have the stress of utilities and, you know, rent and all the other things, and paying for a parking spot. All that is covered under my agency, which is great. Okay, so let's get into what happens while you're at work. So the reason I suggest that you guys get a good solid set of work experience is because when you go to these different contracts, you will receive normally 2 days of floor training where you are working with a preceptor for 2 days, and you are expected to be competent as a staff nurse within 2 days. So your skill set has to be absolutely on point before starting these contracts. A big question I get is, do I deal with difficult staff? And yes, wherever you go, you're going to deal with difficult staff. And more so when you travel, you will deal with more difficult staff because you're not a part of their family and you're not a part of, you know, their unit. You're normally going to be the first to float, and you're normally going to get the undesirable patients. But I look at it like I'm living my dream and I am doing a job I absolutely love. But there is a difference between an undesirable assignment and an unsafe assignment. So if you receive an unsafe assignment, whether you're a staff nurse or a travel nurse, you always speak up. But working with the staff, whether you're a travel nurse, a staff nurse, this job is a teamwork job. If you hear someone's pump beeping, if someone needs help turning a patient, always offer that helping hand. That makes the world of difference. So that's been my experience as far as, you know, actually working in the hospital. It can be difficult at times, but I like to remind myself why I started and why I'm here and how much I enjoy it. So, you know, I am not the golden book of travel nursing. I'm giving you guys my experience. Feel free to talk amongst yourself in my comments below and let me know what you guys think. Thanks for subscribing.